cheers and enjoy the beers. Yes. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the channel with me, Disco, coming at you with another live beer review from in front of the cans and bottles here in the bar. I'm still stupendously calling a Disco Arms completely, well, not really unplanned, but only hastily planned and hastily cobbled together stream this evening. And to which end, so hastily cobbled together, I've got a guest on tonight, and I haven't put him on the thumbnail or anything, didn't have a chance. But a man who needs no introduction, so I'm not giving him one or an introduction. Please welcome Adam from Mersey Beers live to the show. Adam, how you doing, sir? Thanks for popping in for a bit.
Thank you very much for the invite. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, not too bad. Bit of a hasty one and a bit of a mad one today, rushing back from work to get here. But yeah, how's your week been?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, just busy. I'm underprepared for travelling across the globe in less than 2 weeks. So
it's not like it's a fortnight, is it? You've got plenty of time. Just bung some stuff in a bag, you'll be all right.
The logistics are done, just not any clothes or clothes to be had.
Yeah, just buy them when you get there. It saves a lot of luggage space. Not that they're probably cheaper out there. I wouldn't have thought, actually.
No.
Yeah.
The exchange rate's pretty good at the minute.
Yeah. In which case, we need a beer to get on with proceedings. So let's rush straight into, as is usual on this hastily cobbled together excuse for a channel. But beer number one, please. Yeah. So what are you drinking? Nice.
So this is actually mentioned today on anyone listens to, watches Peter, formerly the Clueless Drinkers channel, which is the Casual Smokers Collective. We got a deal recently for some Chilean beer. It was £10 for 24 bottles, and we split two different types between us. And because it's a disco stream, it's got to be an out-of-date beer, which these are. This was expired in January this year, so actually not that bad. But for a session, it's only a session IPA at 4.2. But
Super.
You don't see beers from Chile very often, so actually done.
I'm clipping that for the short. Well, yeah. That's the first. I've had one or two like that, but mostly normally on videos. But yeah, what did you say the expiry date was?
January this year.
Oh, it's not terrible, but
thankfully it hasn't reached my phone, and everything else is waterproof.
Yeah, I have that feeling on the old laptop. Yeah, when you first showed me that, I thought it was like some kind of like chili and like chipotle or something, stout or something. But then I realized it was from Chile.
Yeah, it's actually from Chile. So eventually, when I get to drink it, I've had a few of these bottles before. One exploded a little bit, but not that bad.
Is that the date, do you reckon, or is that the fact that it's travelled a bit and got a bit shaken up and whatever, or a bit of secondary ferment, or just who knows?
I think it's just lively. I've taken it out of the fridge about half an hour ago, so that possibly could be it as well. I should have opened it cold.
Well, to be fair, you say about date. I know two of them are in date because I only picked them up this month, but I'm not sure about this first one. So let's see what I can do. It's been sitting in the stash a while. Good old supermarket jobby that I sort of never quite got round to, so I don't know how long it's been there. But yeah, Northern Monks Tropical World Lychee and Coconut IPA. And I've got your one down on the banner as well, so not particularly like for like comparisons, but I've put versus just because that amuses me. Not really a battle, but you know.
Right, let's see. Let's give this a second go.
Pours out all right.
There we go.
Oh, there's a little bit of there's a little bit of floaty, but should be okay. And as you know, I do end up leaving, especially IPAs.
Oh, that one went. I've lost most of that. Thankfully, I've got quite a few of the bottles.
Yeah.
So
Have you got a date in January for yours? What day in January?
I don't think so. I think it just says January 2025.
Because mine's the 28th of January 2025. So I love random coincidences like that.
Trying to see it's printed on the bottle, so
yeah. Big shout out to everybody popping in as well. Hope you've all got a beer on. Hope you've all had a good week. Simo, Mr. Wilson, and everybody else. Thank you very much for popping in.
It just says Jan 2025. So I imagine the first.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the photograph as usual. Just it's a slightly different stream today, but I'm gonna do the usual things just because force it to have it a bit more of a thing.
Oh.
So you've had some of these beers from Chile before. I mean, are they particularly well known, like in Chile, or are they just sort of random imports?
From what I understand, is they were brought in for a particular restaurant that either didn't sell them or closed some locations. So I think that's why they ended up at the shop where they had bankrupt stock, which is where I picked it up. They had crates and crates of it.
Really, I suppose.
Yeah. So we had this. I got this one, the red ale, and there was a golden ale available, but I didn't pick that up. They were all 24 crate bottles, or 330s in 24s.
Yeah. Any comment on the beer quality there for that? Because of the
It was quite a cool warehouse, so although it's not cold chained, I don't know what it was like before it, but they've been all right. I think they've been good. It's just that one seemed to be a geezer.
I guess if you have something random from a fairly out of the way place in terms of our beers, people probably not going to know about them. So even if you put them in a restaurant, it'd be like, what the fuck's that? Give me a Stella or something, innit?
Yeah, and I think it was a South American restaurant as well, so I think it was well themed. The red ale is really good. The IPA has been it's okay. Bit West Coasty. Trying to get rid of the chill haze off my glass, but as you can see, it's fairly clear, minus the chill haze. It does have a lagery malt essence to it, but definitely not anything to do with New England at all. Somewhere between a West Coast and a sort of IPL, really. It does the job at 4.2.
Yeah.
How's your lychee and what was it, lychee and?
Yeah, I've just taken a sniff of it. Mr. Wilson is on the arbor this time next year, Rodney. That seems to have come round again. I had that a couple of years ago. Decent stout, that, isn't it?
It is. I prefer. Have you ever had Arbor's breakfast stout? Just a straight breakfast stout. That's quite special.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're a coffee fan.
Yeah. I mean, I like me adjuncted or flavoured stouts as well as me regular stouts, to be fair. So that Rodney one was pretty good. I'll tell you what, for fruit note, that's a great fruit aroma to start off with. Let's see where it goes, fruit and hoppiness. Like I say, pick this one up, God knows when, before Christmas from, I think, Tesco's. But yeah, definitely there's almost like a peachiness there as well, rather. There's a bit of lychee and kind of, just general tropical fruits. I think there's a bit more tropical fruit than that anyway. But yeah, cheers. Let's see what we got.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's actually all right. I was a bit worried about these things. There's a sort of some little bit of random kind of earthy hop going on, which may have, if there was, it may have faded in the 6 months. But That's nice and fruity. It's got a nice fruity balance to it. You can taste the fruits. Yeah, it's a bit kind of like fruit squash kind of note, but perfectly refreshing and juicy. Reasonable bit of lacing on the glass, so still seems to be a perfectly decent beer for its out of dateness.
Would you say it lands more lychee than coconut, or more coconut than lychee?
I every time I have a coconut beer, I get one in just so if I can see coconut. Coconut and vanilla are two flavors that weirdly I just never seem to taste in beers, even though I know they're there. Even that one last week, that Turning Point one, the vanilla custard, it's like it's just a custard really, rather than a specific rather vanilla flavor. And coconut is another one. Just never seem to get it at all. So it's definitely heavily on the lychee. Like I say, it feels like a bit of peach, touch of pineapple, something like that. Even in beers that are like pina colada, where it's kind of fairly coconut heavy, in it, I never seem to get coconut.
You need to keep an eye out for beers with the hop HBC 1019.
Okay.
It's what they're calling Super Sabro.
Right.
At the minute, unofficially, it's not been named officially yet. But it's very much in the coconut department. That hop. It's related to Sabro.
Even Sabro heavy. It's even single hop Sabro. I never seem to get coconut. It's just a sort of vague, earthy. I tend to say like coconut husk, like the earthy bit, like the kind of rough bit at the outer edge of a coconut, rather than the white fleshy bit. Mm. I mean, coconut doesn't have a massive taste, and I think most people just think of Bounty bars, don't they? But coconut doesn't have a particular out-and-out flavour, strong flavour profile, I don't think.
Yeah, not without being too artificial.
Yeah. I think if breweries use like toasted coconut, I think that kind of amps up the coconut a little bit.
Definitely.
One of the main things me and Mr. Wilson disagree about. Loves a Sabro beer, not like a bit of coconut.
It is good. I've had it recently in a kernel, the Fuda Wild Ale. It was a Citra, your favourite hop, and Sabro.
I'm thinking Kernel and their Citra Stout. I nearly immediately left this festival and ran home after that. In fact, I was working there, but yeah, a Citra Stout makes no sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm getting on better with Citra, but we'll see what's in the next one. But
I've got unless this has got Citra, which I highly doubt, and there is no danger of any Citra in my big choices for this evening.
Yeah, any particular hop notes in there? Did you say?
I'd say it is West Coast. I would imagine either Columbus or Centennial. If I were to put a bet on it, sugar. Everything's going wrong in it. Just falling over.
That's a lively old bottle. Yeah.
I think it's because I moved the stand. So, my fault. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely Columbus or Centennial. One of the C's that's not Citra. I don't think it's Citra. It's too dry. Too earthy to be Citra for me.
Do you get like hop growers in South America, or is it all like North? Right?
I couldn't tell you. Hops generally grow anywhere in a warm enough climate.
Yeah.
Remember, went to Bratislava in Slovakia, and just on the side of the road there was hops growing. Imagine it was SARS, but just a hop bush at the hop vine and bush at the side of the road.
Wow.
So I think it's wherever it has enough sun and rain.
Yeah. Well, we picked wild hops from down just off the canal in West London.
So I don't know. I personally don't know about the. I don't think there's much export of it anyway. If there is,
Simo's on the Buxton. Never sure about Buxton. I was imagining them just to be hop heavy IPAs and the occasional stout. So I've never really dived into them, especially when they went into supermarkets. I was like, although I did have that Kingslayer the other month, and I thought that was all right. So
yeah, I think they're very much middle of the road. They do have some Mrs. Buxton. I'd be interested. They've done a new coffee stout recently with. I don't know if it's their in-house roasters or whether it's just another coffee roastery in Buxton. But that's recently come out, so probably would give that a go if I saw it.
Yeah, seems to be good. Even Mr. Wilson's got a 20-pack of Buxton, so yeah, fair play. Jamie, good evening to you. Thanks for popping in. Hope you've got a beer on and you've had a good week, sir. But I'll tell you what, I'm surprised. That's quite drinkable, quite juicy, and quite balanced.
No, the Monk. They get a lot of stick, but I think they do quite a lot of good beer in and out of supermarkets.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that on the next one because I've got a Vocation coming up, and kind of Vocation of a month, sort of all that same kind of supermarket business, aren't they? Really? Yeah.
It's the new one that's in supermarkets this week, which we can talk about if you want. That's getting a bit of coverage, and that's from another well-known Yorkshire brewery that's in supermarkets a lot.
Turning Point.
No.
I don't know. Apparently, Turning Point has got Gravediggers biscuits in Asda, but they weren't in either of the Asdas I went in this week, and that's a big old 8.4% espresso stout. So I have to go and find a bigger Asda, I think.
I've got a big Asda just over the road, so I'll have a look. Wasn't in the other week.
I've got a supermarket question for you. Simo's got 4 strains of developmental hops. Oh, this is the Buxton one. CF317, CF338, and CF340. You know your hops?
Yes.
Does that mean anything to you? Because it don't to me.
So CF is Charles Fareham, which is the British. So it's their new range. I actually tried these beers on release at BeerX. They were part of the Charles Fareham beer tasting. And there was definitely a firm favourite within the crowd because we did interactive voting on smartphone to do what people preferred. I can't remember which number it was because they're all just numbers, and I had a piece of paper and wrote it down.
But I mean, I asked you things like that because you've kind of got a bit more of a brain for remembering stuff like that, and I remember largely nothing. I have to go and look stuff up. So Jamie's not on the beers tonight. No worries. 160 for the 20-pack. That's a good price, isn't it, for Buxton?
Yeah.
Fair play. Oh, yeah. So I haven't got any. Normally on it when I do this, I like to line up a few questions, but because it was so impromptu, I haven't lined up any particular questions as such.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a general chat about beer, isn't it?
Yeah. I had a quick look at the beer news whilst I was waiting for my dinner to cook today to see if I could see
any beer news.
Well, I say the internet seems to be aflutter with the re-return of Double Diamond, which is from Allsops.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually not a brewery as such, even though they claim to be. They are actually just a beer brand that is owned by one of the ancestors of Sam Allsop.
Kirsty Allsop.
No, I don't think it's Kirsty. I think I can't remember. It is a fella, and it's contract brewed up at Kirkstall Brewery.
Oh.
So they don't own it, but I think he owns the recipes. Kirkstall brew it for them.
I thought it was like the brother of Kirsty Allsop or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't know Kirsty Allsop was related to the Allsop brewing family.
Again, that's only that's somebody else will correct me in the comments, but that's only I'm sure I read about it somewhere. Because I was looking. They got a pub down in London in Kensington. I saw it at Christmas. But I never stopped in. Yeah. And I've been doing a lot of cycling this week, and I was going to sort of cycle over there because the weather's nice and that, and I've just never got around to it. So I might do that next month.
They had a good guest selection last time I looked online. So I think they had all the Allsop beers on cask and then a good guest selection as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But I tried Double Diamond at Kirkstall's festival. I thought it was all right. Yeah, good for a double pale. Yeah, not really a double pale because of the ABV, but yeah, I think it was pleasant enough. I think it's getting a lot of hate online because it's quite close to it's a sort of a hybrid between a pale ale and a lager.
Okay. Stephen Barlow, good afternoon, good evening to you, rather. Just in for milking. Of course, yes, we had that conversation the other week, didn't we, about always getting the cows sorted. Yeah, no, all good. Had a good week. Hope you have too. The box description on the Double Diamond is off-putting.
I'm not in the box. I don't want to keg the festival.
Is that from what you say about the cross between being a lager and stuff?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah, cheers, Stephen. It's I don't know. I think the camera is just focusing properly today. It's only in 720p as well.
Very good.
Yeah. I never say no to people bringing beers, but if it's those Buxton's ones, I'm not sure I'm the palate for them by the sound of it. But what do you reckon?
Some of them were really earthy.
Yeah, there you go. You mentioned the magic word, haven't you?
They are all New Englands, and the conversation was that we didn't think some of the experimental hops really suited being a New England IPA. They probably would have suited other beer styles. Which the man from Buxton was not. He took that as quite positive, and he said they have some left, so they might do that for some cask beer going forward.
See, I would normally, and I normally associate New England with quite an earthy kind of, earthy grapefruit anyway, grapefruit pith and earthiness.
The one that won was very orangey.
See, orange, I'm good. I'm good with orange.
It was orangey and grapefruit. That was the one that was like a winner. And then they had one that was almost like a white wine, earthy one. Struggling to remember because it was February. We're in May, the end of May. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was interesting. It was interesting to do the four of them. They've done it before. That sort of thing, but it's just whatever Charles Farham have been experimenting with that year, so there's only a very small yield of what's available.
I mean, it's like with anything, I suppose. You're trying to find something new, something probably a bit different. So are there any different hop flavors, or has everything really been done, unless you sort of start getting savory ones or, smoky ones or something like, what I don't know. Do you reckon there's much leeway in new hops to find different fruit flavors or different combinations, or I don't know?
I think all sort of fruit flavors and I think all the flavors that can be available are available. However, how pungent they are, how strong they are, and what you could combine them with is probably the experimental part of them.
Yeah. Because obviously you've got either bitter hops or aroma hops and whatever you can get from that without having to put additional fruit in, I suppose. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's have a quick look what I can see on the can. Drift off to paradise with a bright burst of lychee and coconut. I'm not sure it's paradise, but it's all right. Exotic and joyful. I don't know why I'm looking because they never put the hops on here. There is some, but they don't bother to name them. So, yeah, didn't get much information out of that. Sorry. I do like can information and that, but
Mine is very much like reads like a holiday brochure. So it is. We are the craft beer revolution from Chile. We put our hearts and souls into brewing you the best beers we can using Chilean water, hops, and malts. Oh, so it is Chilean hops. We strive every day to shake your perceptions, exceed your expectations. This is about putting soul and talent into every pint and bottle. We brew soul-crafted Chilean beers. Nazca IPA is a personification of a Chilean refreshment. It's inspired by its namesake, the Nazca tectonic plate, which creates the Andes mountain range and that shapes our unique environment. Nazca has an enticing aroma of citrus and honey and a long hop finish. And you get it's a bit citrusy, no honey whatsoever, and a long hop finish is very drying. Imported and distributed by Trilogy Beverage Brands from Bolton. There you go. So brewed in Chile, but imported to Bolton.
Wow.
Very much two separate.
from Santiago direct to Bolton.
Yeah. What a flight that would be.
I don't know. Must be easy, isn't it? Direct into Manchester probably is the South America, Manchester, isn't it? It's easy, isn't it? But yeah, delightfully random.
It's very drying. It's almost removed all the moisture from my mouth.
Okay. Is there a bit of like hop fade or something? Maybe like because of the
could be.
Well, I always say a little bit of lacing should indicate reasonable condition. There's quite a lot on that glass.
None.
Looks like Homer Simpson from this side, but you probably can't see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Well, good first beer for me, and kind of for you as well, huh?
Yeah, just a bit explosive.
Well, yeah, you got a lively little number. Well, all right, as I was saying, well, Mr. Wilson, I'll never say no if you're bringing beers. I will try them, obviously, but you don't have to lug them all the way across London. But the good news I take from that is Dave Wilson's planning to pop up the brewery and come and see us again soon. So that I'm definitely pleased about. But yeah, if you bring the beers, I'll try them. But obviously, you don't have to lug them across London. For my palate, I might not appreciate them. Obviously, I appreciate if you do. Mr. B's got them as well. Interesting thing with hops, though, is the different flavors extracted depending on where they are used during the hot or cold side. Yeah. That's one of those things that I don't know enough about science to either learn or know. I just put hops in where and when I'm told to, generally. Thiols is another one, and it's the latest hop development.
Yeah, I did a workshop on thiols.
Okay.
BRX. It's a bit of a fad, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of science there, but the application is a bit faddy.
Is that the same for thiols as things like Hopkeef and like
Hopkeef's a brand, Cryos? They're all branded hop things, right. But it's thiols is the enzymes, how they produce flavors.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, shall we keep up the first and the refreshment? Let's move straight on, I guess, to beer number 2, please. He's got it again. That's swift.
I know.
Pressing buttons. That's smart. So your beer number 2. I'm liking the can. That's a smart looking can.
So I have had this. This is available in a 4-pack from Home Bargains. So this is my third one of the 4-pack, and the fourth one will be going to Mr. Harry from Blue Nose Beer Reviews when I go next week. I made a bold claim with this. I believe that the flavour is better than Guinness and Murphy's. Body, not so much, but the flavour is better.
Well, firstly, that looks like far too posh a can for Home Bargains, but then they stopped Budvar, so who knows? Secondly, that's not a particularly bold claim because there are many nitro stouts that are better than Guinness.
But readily available and actually brewed in Ireland.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, it's a Dundalk Bay Brewery and Distilling.
Genuine product. I mean, technically, would you call Home Bargains a supermarket? Because I'm not going supermarket on this one.
Maybe.
It's definitely a retail outlet, isn't it? It's like it's a not so supermarket. But I did go in whatever their equivalent is. Not what's the other thing that's in the Home Bargains stable? B&M, yeah. So I haven't got Home Bargains near. I'd have to cycle and stuff, but I did go in B&M, which is really disappointing for beer the other day.
Very innocent, good and heavy in my one for B&M.
Okay. I did pick up a couple of cans of something though, but I don't think I should admit to that. Go on. I picked up a couple of cans of Super Hooch.
Oh.
Just for the lols, really. Do you know what I mean? Just for the Dragon Soup comparison, but right, yeah. So this one is a Afterglow. It's called double IPA. Look at me drinking a double IPA on stream. That doesn't happen often, and it's not even got disco in the name or nothing. Right, let's get it in the glass, I guess. Are you gonna do that? Are we gonna do the full nitro? Let's do the full nitro.
Yeah.
Hang on, how do I do this?
Ooh.
No, not that one. Hold on, don't do it yet.
That's fine. I'm just getting it lined up.
I can't find my things. Oh, dear. Hang on. I'm trying to find the one where I make you big screen.
If you right click on it, it should be, you'll be able to see solo. If you right click on me.
No.
No. You ready? Oh, it's for the DGM, Dirty Glass Mafia. Doesn't quite go to the top because it's only a 440. Just looks taller because it's nitro infused. Wash that glass before I got it out of the cupboard. Don't know if it's showing up. I think that's settled.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks
Bit of
all right.
an extra head.
Yeah, I think nitros always seem to do that because of that hard pour. You always end up getting a bit of extra. It never settles to the perfect kind of head note, don't
it? Even though it was I cleaned and rinsed glass, it's still got a bit of catch on the side.
Well, yeah, bit of dust or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I am fully fledged member of the Dirty Glass Mafia, but you know I'm not going to feature too much on it. I used to have constant discussions with arguments. Yeah, malts and mash temperatures. Is it a Guinness brewery? David Wilson asked. You reckon? Or are they independent?
Independent. They
Good.
make Irish whiskey as well.
Did I just swear? What? With double IPA? No, I don't. kind of getting into double IPAs a little bit, depending on the hop lineup. And I do remember looking at this when I actually bought this direct from Vocation, because I had that supermarket white stout, the raspberry and white chocolate stout, and I loved it. So I thought I'm going to go and have a look at that and check whether what I said was correct. So I got a couple of those in, took advantage of the £20 free delivery thing, which I think they've stopped now, sadly.
Yeah.
And I got what I think is some non-supermarket double IPAs in. I don't think this one is in the supermarkets, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I don't recognise that one.
Yeah, so Afterglow, hell of a glow to it. Nice orange kind of glow, decent head development.
Looks thick.
It does look thick and juicy, a little bit chunky. I'm going to do the photograph before I forget. Yeah, kind of matches the colour on the can, to be fair, Afterglow. But yeah, like I say, I'm slowly sort of getting into double IPAs as long as the hop lineup is right. And I remember looking at the hop lineup, and I've already forgotten it. So it'll be a interesting revelation if I find it's got something different in it. Obviously, I mean, if I used to stay away from double IPAs because of that kind of hop content that's going to kind of test my palate and be just like kind of grapefruity, really. So I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I had a discussion with, not a discussion. I made a comment on somebody's Instagram the other day about the proliferation of hazy IPAs, and they said, like, when was clear beer a crime? And I'm like, a clear beer is not a crime any more than a hazy is a crime. It's just beer.
Yeah.
Whatever if you like the beer, drink it. Yeah.
It's also how different yeasts develop as well.
Yeah. Well, it's got a good nose on it. I'm not smelling grapefruit. I'm smelling tropical. So
mine is malty coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more espresso than coffee.
It does look good in the glass for sure. Oh, I've missed a load of comments. I apologise, everybody. You realise I'm waffling on. Paul, Emily's, thanks for popping in. How you doing? You all right? Hope the beers are flowing well.
It's got a big box to get through.
Oh yeah, you sent him some beers, didn't you?
Well, Paul sent Paul some beers. I just facilitated.
Okay.
For tax purposes and import purposes, yes, I sent Paul beer as a gift. There was no way Paul put an order in.
Well, I was going to ask because, like, obviously, it seems like getting beers across the pond is notoriously difficult and expensive and stuff like that. So, have you found a secret way, or is it just
a lot of paperwork?
Right.
The answer is throw a lot of paperwork at it. I have a specific courier I use, and the paperwork has got more extensive in the last couple of years. So I was hesitant to do it this time because of the amount of paperwork you have to do. Declarations, but under a certain amount is tax free both sides. I was concerned about tariffs, but I'm under price wise. It was under the amount, the barrier before the tariffs kick in. So it's complicated, and you don't. I would never say that you would lie to any export or import company, but sometimes you have to be a bit creative with the truth.
You just write a letter that says, "I think Mr. Trump is the best president ever." Things.
No, you just have to look at what is it? What did they say for Star Wars? It's all true. It's just from a certain point of view.
Yeah. Fair play. Yeah, I've seen he's done a couple of videos, so I've got to catch up a couple of them. So It's interesting. I know
I've
he's
got
off
to
for
do another
British
one.
beers. So.
I've got to do another one when I come back. I wouldn't attempt Australia. Australia's import regulations are extremely strict.
Yeah.
So much so, even taking stuff in my luggage is restricted.
Right. Yeah. I've having been there a couple of times, even like back in the day, it was all the questions you have to answer and that. So yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's a there is a threshold, and I told Sammy that there's a threshold, and I wouldn't want to pierce that threshold because that means that everything could go.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so you were talking about swearing about hooch, not dippers.
Right. America are a bit more fast and loose with the rules.
Classes do that; they have their own personality. Well, I don't know. Little bit of dust, I don't know. Or I assume you don't wash them in the dishwasher with all the other stuff, so I don't know.
No, I hand washed it and rinsed it through.
Good man, fair play. That's the trouble with doing stuff live, isn't it? It's like if it was a video, you could just like go back and do it again. But for IPAs to be double or higher, I just prefer them to be tasty and drinkable and not like being smacked around the face with a grapefruit beanbag. Right, let's do the taste. Because I'm running. I'm apologies. Like this is difficult for me. Like catching up with comments. Normally I can get them all in. But yeah, what have you got on the taste there, Adam?
Taste or aroma. Sorry, taste or aroma, did you say? Sorry.
You said aroma was coffee and stuff, so.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Very much coffee on the taste. I prefer it to Guinness because I think it's more coffee forward. Malt is there. The body is close to Guinness. I don't think it's quite as thick. More aerated, I would say. But not as thick. But I like it quite pleasant. I think it's very sessionable. I think it might be more sessionable than Guinness due to how thin it is. And not being served ice cold like Guinness is out of a Guinness keg. Yeah,
it does look pretty thick and soft in the glass, like
it's very soft,
kind of in the glass. So if it's a bit thinner. Cheers,
it is
Scott.
really good. For a
$5. Yeah, $5. Fair play.
For 4 cans, $4.99. So you change out of a $5.
Oh yeah. Well, when I do eventually get to home bargains, I might have a look for that. Cheers. Funny enough, Shark was who I was thinking of when I said about importing stuff to America because I was in one of either Aldi or Lidl, and I keep getting them confused. And I picked up another shark named beer the other day. Shark Bay, it was called, but it was a Hatherwood thing. So, yeah,
Lidl, yeah, because it's their attempt at Doom Bar.
Oh God, no! The things I do for you, Shark. Things I do for you. I mean, it could be better than Doom Bar, to be fair, but
well, a lot of Hatherwood stuff is brewed by Marston's, so it might not be better than Doom Bar.
Yeah. I drink by name quite often, but you know.
The Panther one's pretty good because that's done by what they call Big Kentish Brewery, famous, do Spitfire.
Shepherd and Neame.
Yeah, Shepherd and Neame. They do the Panther one, which is the porter. So I think that's pretty all right.
Yeah, I thought their darker beers were pretty good. I didn't realise, but then Shepherd and Neame darker beers are better than their pale ales for me. But you know, it's just a thing. But yeah, anyway, greeting, Shark. Right, so I'm kind of putting off double IPA. I'm not, but it does look good. So
cheers.
The aroma definitely helps with like some tropicalness going on. So, no, there's the grapefruit. It's a shame. So it's because it's so soft and drinkable. Took a big gulp, and there's a bit of tropical, but there's that earthy, pithy grapefruit in the background, hunting like a nemesis. I mean, I had some last week that were kind of quite big beers. All that ridge, the ridge stream, Pine Ridge, and the Weekend Project, Foggy Ridge, and they were testing, and they've got that grapefruit, but they're not. Grapefruit's not the primary, so I'm okay. I'm just not gonna. It's weird. I'm not going to be able to smash this down as quick as that one, even though there's only 2% in it. But yeah, it's a good beer. Don't get me wrong. It's just far too much grapefruit on the edge.
And I know Vocation, they used to be pretty good about naming hops on the can. So I did wonder whether you were maybe frightened about whether it being Citra related.
I got 2 dippers in the order. I got 8 beers, a couple of stouts, those white stouts, a pale ale, and 2 dippers. And I think there was a third dipper on there that I rejected because it did have Citra, and more so the description. I think the description on this one was why I ended up putting it in the basket. But that's a good point. Let's have a look. It says bright, tropical, and crisp, which is kind of fair enough. Ah, right. Yes, this is why I went with this one. And I should have said that from the aroma because it's what I was thinking. Motueka, Rasko, Nelson Sauvin, and Pacifica.
All New Zealand hops then?
All New Zealand hops. And I don't know if it's... I don't know if New Zealand hops have gone a bit more grapefruit in the last couple of years, but I imagine them not to be massively on the grapefruit, more on the tropical.
Yeah.
And I say that because we've got a beer on the bar, very pale, which is Nelson and Motueka. And up until this recent iteration, I wasn't getting a lot of grapefruit. And now I am on this latest batch. But then with the addition of the other 2, maybe that's where the grapefruit comes in as well. But it says here, built on a vibrant blend of Motueka, Rasko, Nelson Sauvin, and Pacifica, Afterglow delivers a tropical brightness with a soft bitterness. I think the soft is in the body rather than the bitterness. Juicy notes of mango, ripe peach, and passion fruit meet subtle hints of white grape and citrus zest, all wrapped up in a smooth, crisp finish that leaves you chasing the next sip. Well, I tell you, I think the key to that, I think, is the passion fruit. I always find passion fruit, although it's a tropical fruit and one I'd love to like, I always find the pips in a passion fruit give that kind of earthy, kind of bitter, dry bitterness that I don't like. And then the citrus zest in this one is definitely grapefruit rather than anything else, and I prefer lemon.
This one has nothing apart from ingredients, which is water, barley malt, wheat, hops, yeast. Irish Nitro Stout, product of Ireland, brewed and packaged in Ireland by Dundalk Bay Brewing and Distillery, Dundalk, County Louth, Ireland. Imported by Gin Ting from B95, which are the postcode area, which I believe is Tamworth.
Okay, yeah. So equally as random as Bolton for the other one.
Yeah. 440ml can, but I'd say slightly tall because of the nitro.
Yeah.
That's it. There is literally nothing else on it. It's got something in French on the coat of arms, which is Bonnet El Bel Aziz, which I have no idea what it is. I don't speak French. With the year 1932. So we don't know whether that's just an aesthetic choice or whether it actually means something, but there is literally nothing on there.
Yeah. Like I say, it's a great can. I like the kind of Irish colours going through the name as well. And I wonder how...
Might have had something on the box.
Yeah. I wonder how is that purely like brewed for export, or is it a big thing around Dundalk? And my Irish geography, I can't remember where Dundalk is. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know. County Louth either. I don't know where that would be in relation to Southern Ireland.
No, I think it's in the northern. I think Dundalk's a bit north.
Okay.
I've heard of County Leith, but not County Louth. Yeah, my Irish geography is sadly a bit lacking.
But yeah, nothing else on there. 4.1, so we've actually gone down in ABV from the session IPA, which is 4.2. Yeah, it's a decent. I think it's a very vastly underrated stout.
Here's a question for you, and it's a naughty question, but you know why I'm asking it. Put that up against, say, I don't know, for example, Anspach and Hobday's London Black. What are we?
I'd go with this.
I mean, you know it's naughty, but you know why I'm asking that. But seriously, is it that? Because I think London Black is probably better than Guinness, but
I don't like London Black. I don't mind it, but I don't rate it against Guinness because it's a London port. It's a nitro London porter, whereas it's their stouts. And for me, it's a different body. You put nitro in any beer, and people have done that.
Yeah,
but I think
every other brewery is doing it.
Yeah, the basis of it, it's still a London porter. It's not comparable to Guinness. I think it's like comparing grapefruit and oranges.
I can't remember back in the day whether it was Anspach themselves that dropped that it's better than Guinness, taking over Guinness in London thing, or a beer writer did it, or somebody else did it and they ran with it. But you're right about the whole porter thing.
And they were actually one of the news stories as well for this week. Anspach and Hobday celebrating their 12th birthday or 12th anniversary, along with Mondo from London. I've only had a handful of beers from celebrating their 10th birthday. They've done a brand refresh, and they are now going, by the looks of it, exclusively into 330ml cans.
We've had long discussions. We've had long discussions at the brewery about 330s versus 440s, and we're sticking with 330. So it's a very I think I wonder if that's a bit Beer 52 based, because I think Mondo do a bit with Beer 52, don't they?
They relaunched their full core range. It was 5 beers, all 330s, different branding.
From a brewery point of view, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you want a pint, you just have to buy 2. So it's a great way to increase sales in theory, but it also shies people away who don't particularly like 330s. But yeah, it's a difficult one from a business perspective, I think, and from a drinker perspective, you know, I've just got into 440s. 500 would be better, or 568, but yeah, 440s are kind of.
There's not many that do 568. There's Arbor, and that's it, isn't it? Really. I know Arbor ran into problems selling to supermarkets because of the height of the can and the shelves.
Shelves, yeah.
500s work because they still fit on the shelf. I would always go 500 until you do an in-piece and then drop down to 330s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw an Arbor on the shelf in Sainsbury's the other day, so they've sort of been forced to go into 440s, haven't they?
Yeah. Which they previously only did for high ABV stuff. I remember having. I remember having a 440 from them, which wasn't Beer 52. It wasn't supermarket. It was a barrel aged impy that they did called, I'm sure it was like Story of a Lonely Boy or something like that. Something like that, and it was a I got it merely for what barrel it was barrel aged with. It was Heaven Hill, which I love. Heaven Hill whiskey, bourbon, and it was superb. But it was a 440, but it was 11%. So do you really want a pint of 11%?
Like I say last week, that turning point 11% was perfect in a 330. The paradox of that last month being that Arbor went into 440s and then didn't. I think it was Northern Monk that put was it a 500 or a 568 into a supermarket at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah.
The irony.
Yeah. They did a Stone S because after it already had Stone IPA in what they call the stovepipe cans.
Yeah.
Previously. Yeah. It's a funny one. They were forced, Arbor were forced to put sharing can on anything above 8% in a pint can. That's Portland Group again. Coming in when Arbor don't really sell those beers to supermarkets, so why are they getting involved? I don't know.
Well, yeah, if they want you to put sharing can, that's fair enough. But if you only share it with yourself, then it's all the rest of the stuff the Portman Group do. But I tell you what, I'm way behind on Comet Shark. Yeah, if you pick up some Shark beers, I've got a couple of Shark beers, and I was, my brain just is instantly tuned to random names. So if I see a Shark beer, I'll probably pick it up. Right?
I'm trying to think of a Shark beer. I've not seen really any.
I've got that one, that Haverwood one. I've got one from Phantom.
Oh, gonna need a bigger boat.
No, Shark. It was one I was randomly picked up because it had Shark in the name, but it's one of their many IPAs. Shark, something like Shark Daydream or Shark Problem, something like that. Shark Infested Daydream, something like that. I think it is. Top of my head, but yeah, I always keep looking out for random stuff like that.
Well, your favourite brewery, Verdant, only Sharks Need Water. Was it every? I can't think of it.
Even Sharks Need Water, Baby Sharks, and what was the other one? Sharks.
Whale Sharks was the big double.
Yeah. I tried it. Being smashed in the face with a grapefruit beanbag. Yes, thanks, Mark. Mark Jones. Dundalk is more north, near the border. I thought so. So my Irish geography is not as terrible as I thought. Fuller's London Porter for the win.
It's not nitro.
Well, no, yeah. 330 for big beers, 400 to 500 for the rest. Yeah, no, same here. Whoa, hello, Mondo, owned by the man who owns Hogsback.
Hello, I didn't know that.
I did not know that, and there's another thing that me and Mr. Wilson disagree on, or agree to disagree on. I like Hogsback beers, but I don't like the man himself. I didn't know. I think they went round buying up a few because Mondo, I know, had a little bit of trouble a while back, and I did know that and had forgotten about it. So that's a good shout.
I find Hogsback bottles quite bad, but their cask is quite good. It's a very strange situation.
Yeah, I again, when I was frequenting pubs, you used to see them about a lot, and I used to love walking up and asking for a pint of tea. That used to amuse me, and that was a good beer as well. It was a favourite for a while, but yeah,
awful in bottles, though. Awful. It's terrible in bottles.
Yeah. I haven't had one for so long. Again, kind of a supermarket staple, really.
Yeah, Morrison's and Sainsbury's has had it for years.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of discussion in comments about can sizes. Sure, you always want 1 litre for all beers. He means facts, because I was in B&M the other day and see they're doing litre cans of that. I think it's the 5% facts, that Danish lager.
Well, I have in the cupboard, in the Stout cupboard, I have a 10% litre can of facts that is out of date from 2022. I have promised if Mr. Harry Bluenose does a super lager stream for his birthday in July, I will open it.
Well, I saw it on the shelf and I thought I've got to do that at some point, but I completely resisted because I bought far too much beer this week as it is. But I would be tempted to go and try it at some point just for the lols. But Isn't a litre a real pint for you? No, because that's half a litre.
It's
We're not
Stein.
German. Stein, isn't it? Yeah. Phantom had 9 or so shark beers, really.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. I've only seen the one. No, absolutely. I'll give them a go, Mr. Wilson, for sure. Fair play and cheers. Cheers for that. I'll give anything a go, me. This is getting better. I think that earthiness is passion fruit rather than grapefruit, but that citrus zest is a little bit of grapefruit edge. So it's all right. It kind of masks the mango a little bit for me. I want it to be more tropical mango pineapple kind of thing. So, and it's a bit cloying. It's got that kind of grapefruit cloying kind ofness. But like I say, don't get me wrong. Good beer. Look at the lacing. Seems pretty good. The head development has stayed. It's still, nice little bit of head on it. So it's all right, but I'm struggling a little bit because of that kind of cloying dryness a little.
This is lacing, but it's slowly going down. I'm holding back because I don't want to drink it and wait. I'd rather suck it slowly.
Right, yeah. Whoa. It's got some grapefruit burps as well. I don't like grapefruit in the first place, but when you're burping grapefruit and you have to taste it a second time, it makes it even worse. But
There's definitely not a little bit left.
yeah, so I'm kind of pleased I gave it a go. I've moved out my comfort zone to buy a double IPA.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit disappointed on that New Zealand hop is not quite what I thought it would be. I never get white grape from Nelson. I never.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I had 2 Flints, one which was all Nelson, and that was all white grape, peach and white grape. I always get.
Again, because I have enough trouble drinking the beers I've got. I need to do some single hop series beers and some videos maybe, but at some point.
I haven't had Pacifica for a very long time. That's a hop I've not had for a long time.
Okay. We did. What did we do? We couldn't get Mochueka for a while, so we did a beer with Nelson and Pacific Sunrise, which I don't know.
I think they're different. I thought the Pacific Sunrise is not American.
Okay. I don't know. I thought it was another New Zealand one, or maybe it might have been. I don't know.
I'm not sure. But Pacifica, I remember having it. So Liverpool, what used to be Liverpool Organic, did a Rasko single hop pale ale. I remember drinking copious amounts of that on a brewery tour. And they did a Pacifica one that was much lower ABV. And that was pretty good. I think it was like a 3.8 or a 3.6 something, quite sub 4. But that's probably the last time I remember distinctly drinking Pacifica. I distinctly remember drinking Pacifica.
Specifically Pacifica.
Yeah.
I tell you what I'm getting. I said this about the other dippers the other week. I don't know how you feel about this, and I did it in the write-up. Sometimes when sort of an 8%, 8.5% double IPA, I start getting a kind of vodka and orange kind of note around that high ABV, and it's more specifically vodka and grapefruit juice, but there's that kind of slight, not quite spiritiness, but that kind of slight vodka-iness going on. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've had a double IPA where I've noticed that there's alcohol burn. I think it's been a while.
It's weird because I don't describe it as an alcohol burn, but it's definitely a
warming.
Yeah, a sort of spirity edge. But I know what you mean, like by alcohol burn. But yeah, it's sort of that kind of slight spirity vodka-y type note. Compared to when you get a barrel aged stout, it's more of like a bourbon kind of note or a whiskey kind of note.
Yeah.
which I'm not a big vodka drinker, to be fair. So, but I'm not against it in a double IPA. It's just an interesting. It's just what it pops up in my head anyway.
I stopped drinking vodka in 2009. So
well, actually, I can't say that because I've just bought some blinking Super Hooch, which is vodka based. Fucking
it's well,
drink, but
the regular hooch is not, is it? It's malted. It's technically flavored malt liquor.
Yeah. I think a WKD. Pacific Sunrise is a New Zealand. Maybe. No, we did a hazy IPA with it. But because of that kind of vodka-ish note, I'm kind of getting into it a little bit more. But it has got that kind of dry and back end kind of earthiness that I'm not sure about. I'm not against it, but it's not as good as the double IPAs I had the other week. Which I'm going to have to remind myself what they were. That Pine Ridge one, the Pine Ridge Brewery, the Gorillas.
All right, okay. I can't remember that one. I know Foggy Ridge. That's only 6.2 though, isn't it? It's not a double.
No, that's true.
I do rate Weekend Project. If you ever see any of their cask stuff, it's always worth giving it a go. Because they do really good New England pales cask.
Oh no! I tell you what, I think it was. I think it was that King Rat, that Ossett King Rat that's in Tesco.
Oh yeah, I had that the other week. That was all right.
Yeah, that was it's a double IPA. It was okay.
That's again another one owned by Sol. They seem to have a lot of brands out through Ossett. The Riverhead and obviously the Rat Brewery all seem to be. I know they're sort of folding the Rat Brewery into Ossett slowly.
A lovely weekend project last beer in Manchester. Was that the? No, that was the. Was that? That wasn't the Foggy Ridge. That was the Hopper. Some Hopper Island. Was it Hopper Island? I think. Because we talked about that on last week's show.
Some of the it tends to be the cask weekend project you don't get in cans, and the canned weekend project is keg. Seem to keep their cask stuff very separate to the canning stuff.
Right.
But I say it's considering how much of a beer desert that Knutsford is. Got like one decent micro format. That's it.
Knutsford, really? I thought it was like bit of Cheshire, isn't it? Yeah, Hopper Island.
And there's not really much in Knutsford, so it's shocking that they've come out of there. It's very remnant of Polly's in that part of Wales. There was only Mould Ale House and nothing else.
Yeah.
Sort of sprung up around him.
Wow. I'm sort of enjoying this more towards the end. It's weird. It's kind of it's quite a big beer, but it's got all this. It's testing. It's palate testing for me. Bit of a testing beer.
I've got to a silly point now where I've only got triple IPAs and imperial stouts and barley wines. I've got the only sessionable stuff for these bottles and red ale. They're the only sessionable stuff I've got. Everything else is seemingly. I don't think I've got anything under 10%.
Still sensible. Some would argue. I tell you what, I don't know. I sort of I've got far too much in the stash. I've still got to get through. So, but I admire everybody else's like resilience to just buy beer, drink beer, not never get round to drinking it.
I did the high ABV stuff. I don't, because I don't really want to do just high ABV at a weekend.
Yeah,
I can't drink it. I can't drink it midweek. So it's a bit of a catch-22. I like the look. I like it. I like the look of it, but the occasion to drink it never comes up. So I end up building sort of a stockpile of high ABV beers. It's I like to call it's the reverse raggy effect.
I mean, you also are, I guess, not lucky, but you're also in a situation where you've got fairly easy access to a lot of good beers, and picking up in session beers fairly easy, isn't it? Whereas most of my stuff I have to get delivered in because, like, it's just easier.
You work at a brewery, just get stuff from Perivale. I'm sure that there's a lot of.
Oh yeah, I do.
There.
I do for me day-to-day drinking requirements, which I have to try and rein myself in. But there's all these other beers that I keep seeing, and I keep seeing them for review. So I'm like, oh, I could make a video of that. Oh, that would be a great live stream beer. Like today I just popped in another beer order at Trembling Madness. I'll just get half a dozen beers because there was one specific beer I wanted. I was going to do it today, and I should have done. In fact, I should have done it weeks ago, because that's the question I was going to ask you. Actually, all this kind of thing about mild in May, like doing mild beers in May, just because camera says so. But I don't mind it because I like that alliteration. But I didn't see that many mild beers this month.
Well, I'll give you my response to that by standing up. If I can angle my back towards the camera. So I got this. Sorry. I got this at the Kirkstall Beer Festival, and they had quite a few miles on. So I'm a big fan of miles, and to get a T-shirt with mild on was irresistible. So I picked it up. I just thought it was on the front, and then when I got it and I put it on, I was like, oh, it's got the Kirkstall Brewery emblem, and then nothing else on the front, and then that on the back. I thought it was the other way around.
Oh, well, that's fine. I think all brewery merch, like all band merch, should have a back print.
Yeah, the back print was at the front when I went to buy it, so I didn't see.
Right. But you're not going to look at either side, so it doesn't matter. It's for other people.
Yeah.
I spent a good long while on the way home from work yesterday, which is another reason I didn't do a stream yesterday, looking for milds in supermarkets, and I did not find. Well, I found one because I knew it was there. But
thanks. That's it.
Yeah, nothing. I picked up one from Badger. They've got a new one out, a cherry mild.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting.
I picked that up, and I've already got I got a Turning Point and Hackney collab, an Heritage mild. What I couldn't find was the Hackney version that they brewed a different Heritage mild.
Right.
So I picked up an Abbeydale mild instead. I might do that stream on Monday for my missing mild in May by 2 days.
I was going to say Monday's not, is it? Beginning of June.
Yes, as I missed mild in May by 2 days.
Yeah, you should have done it. You should have done it this Monday gone. Then you could have done Monday mild.
If I thought about it properly yesterday, I would have just placed the order at Trembling Madness and it would have arrived today, and I would have been fine. But I just assumed I could get Banks' mild or something mild in supermarkets, and I went around 4 supermarkets and said, fuck all.
Having had it recently, and I could only find it at Bargain Booze, Banks' mild is truly awful.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly it just fitted in the theme.
And I picked it up only for the fact that Paul, as the beers that he wanted two. He said 2 bottles of Banks mild, and I was like, they haven't done it in bottles for years. You can get you 2 cans, but it comes as a 4-pack. And I was like, I'm happy to take the other 2 cans if you want to do it that way. And so, yeah, that's fine. So I did one as a mystery beer for Harry, which is up on his channel, and I had the other can. And it was wet cardboard. Wasn't good.
Looks like I've done it well because I've got something else. 1886 mild from Dorking Brewery. In spoons. Oh, fair play.
Oh, yeah.
I think the one I've got from Turning Point is 1886 mild. Whether that's like it's like a recipe going around or something like that, I don't know.
I am out in Ormskirk tomorrow, and I may or may not go with spoons, so hopefully that will be there.
That's a spoons I don't know the name of. I usually pride myself in knowing random spoons names, but
actually had a gruesome but interesting name. The Ormskirk spoons. It's called the Court Leet, and the Court Leet is the court where they hung people in the village square.
Okay, yes, I have seen that about. Yes, good shout. Yeah, fair play. Yeah, it is a bit gruesome, isn't it? But
because outside there is an exact square, literally outside of the spoons, just above it, and that is where they hung them from all 4 sides of the square.
Okay. Never been to Ormskirk. Sort of place I really want to go, just because I love the sound of the name. Like,
it's all right. There's it's a proper cask place. There's a Holt's pub there. That is actually my nearest Holt's pub. There are no Joseph Holt's pubs in Liverpool.
Oh, talking of which, I don't know. Did you see Slurpy Dave's video this morning? He done a couple of milds and a
chance to watch it.
Yeah.
So we might go to the Holt's pub, and there might be a mild on there. But I had Holt's mild in Manchester recently, and it was what they call their dark, which is their dark mild, and that was truly quite disappointing.
Truly average.
Yeah, it was not good. Like, considering that Joseph Holt do some really good beers, like 6X on cask is superb.
Yeah.
2 Boots on cask is brilliant. I hate it in the clear bottles. I hate it with the patching.
Yeah, no, but I've had a couple of good points of that. So right, well, last mouthful of this. It's growing on me. It's all right. It's getting there. It's that passion fruit. But anyway, let's nick it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Have you finished yours? Should we go on to the next one?
Yeah, that went on. I finished it a while ago.
Sorry, me wanging. That's me wanging on.
I was trying to hold back. I was trying to knock down it, but it's such a sessionable beer. It was difficult to do.
Yeah, I struggled a little bit more with that one. But anyway, moving swiftly on. Beer number 3, please. He's done it. I didn't even bother moving. He's done it again. That's just absolute quality movement. Beer number 3. So, a Poly Stout.
Yes. Yeah. I know you don't see many of them. I try not to buy Poly Stouts because I've had a few disappointing ones. But this one caught my eye because it's a stout at 6.2, which is an interesting ABV for a stout. And it's a fudge stout. So it's a pastry stout, which is not imperial. Another thing that I was like vaguely interested in.
Yeah. I jumped for the fudge or just for the malt?
Oh, well. It doesn't say. So it says water, gluten, malted barley, oats, wheat, hops, yeast, lactose.
Okay.
So no sign of fudge extract. So I'm assuming they maybe got that from the malts.
From the malt, I suppose the lactose is a certain amount of creaminess and a kind of creamy fudge kind of sweetness, I suppose, as well, on it for fudge.
So it interested me. I picked this up at the mighty Penny Lane Londis, which is now the only official bottle shop in the whole of Liverpool. Nearly all it may even be the only one in Merseyside.
Wow.
Because there was one in Prescott that closed recently. They went to sort of more of a bar model, even though it was initially a bottle shop. I think that was maybe their downfall, which is sad because they were there for 5 years.
I'm sure we used to have Londises round here all the time, and I I should Google it, but I don't think the Londonses round here would have such a beer selection. So
There is only one other Londis I'm aware of that does craft beer, and that is in Wales. I think it's called Bethesda. Bethesda in Wales.
Oh yes, I've seen them on Bethesda. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It's them, and there is one in near Redditch. It's not a Londis. It's another, not Spa. It's another brand of corner shop that do a similar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good lads. What is your beer number 3?
Yeah, so meanwhile, I'm going a milk stout as well. Well, technically now. With friends at Creative Juices.
Oh, never heard that.
Okay, which are just up the road from me in Rickmansworth, just off the M25, Maple Lodge. For those that don't know, Creative Juices, the bar manager there is Paul of Paul's Beer Reviews.
Oh, really? Oh, that's his brew. Sorry,
That's his brewery. Yeah. So that's where he works. So I say my brewery is my brewery, even though I just work there. But yeah, it's my brewery. Yeah, that's his place, Creative Juices. So I pop up there on occasion. It's the first time I've been there this year, and this is their new out last month milk stout.
I didn't realise they canned either.
Well, they did. They always canned, and they got a reasonably good web shop. Never that much on it, again due to size. But recently bought their own canning machine, so they have their own canning line now. Because I used to send them out, so now they do their own canning and packaging. So their previous stout was called Colours, but it wasn't a milk stout, so I was pleased to kind of get into this one. I had a half of it the other day when I went up there, and it was really, really good, but it was tempered by the fact that I did start off with a half of Fierce Beer's Iron Brew beer.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought was brilliant, bit gimmicky, but brilliant. But it kind of tempered the fact I couldn't really taste the stout as fully as if I'd had a fresh palate. So I picked up a can of it.
I've seen a few reviews of that versus the Vault City one.
Yes, yeah. I was watching Stu from the Lager Logs do the Vault City to do the Iron Brew beer the other day. I was quite interesting to get a selection of. I'll tell you what I picked up today, just randomly on that order, is the Vault City Wee Bucky, because I know we was talking about that the other week. I thought I've got to give that a go.
I've seen the price of that in some pubs online. People were complaining with it being only at 4.5. Is it 4.6?
Yes, exactly 4.5. Yeah.
Some people were complaining it was £9 a pint.
Ew, that's a bit Imperial Stout type territory. £9 a pint.
Is. But yeah, I was going to say, do you want a pint of sour?
Well, I was looking at, and I stupidly missed out. I should have done. Vault City have bought a new, what's that Dubai chocolate craze?
Oh, yeah. Pistachio.
Yeah, they brought out a pistachio stout. And I looked at it, and last night it was only coming soon, and I forgot to check. And that was $9.50 a can, which I think was a 330. But it did look really good, so I'm a bit annoyed myself that I didn't check before I pulled the trigger.
Trembling Madness will have it this week.
Well, so I got Trembling Madness ordered this afternoon, so it's coming in tomorrow, and I forgot to check because it was still on there coming soon last night. So
yeah,
unless I can find anything else, I might go left field or beer shelf.
Had it as well, I think.
That was £9, $9.50 a can.
I do get 10% off at left field, so I was like, I'll probably be inclined to sit there.
Yeah, but that was like 13%.
Yeah, they're all big. All those Vault City ones are always big.
Yeah. Right, let me know about that beer, Adam. Do the aroma and stuff.
Oh, very sweet. somewhere between a Cadbury's fudge and a Cadbury's chomp.
a Cadbury's fudge and a Cadbury's what?
Chomp.
Oh, chomp.
Mm.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I had to go dive back into my childhood for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know when you bite it and the chocolate starts to flake off and you get that smell that's like somewhere between caramel and chocolate?
No, that's a good description.
That's what it is. It smells. It's going to be exceedingly sweet. I'm saying that now. In the aroma alone, you can tell it's going to be sweet.
Okay, it was like on Slurpee's video today. He had a Turning Point collab with, I can't remember who it was, with a milk pop stout, and he said he said he doesn't like really sweet beers, and I've never had a beer that's too sweet for me yet. I don't mind sweet beers.
You'd probably like this one by the smell of it. It's very it smells very sweet, very chocolatey. Caramel, yeah, more caramel than fudge for me.
Yeah.
Almost like baker's chocolate, maybe.
Yeah.
That's all I'm getting. You're getting that big sweetness. It is really unavoidable. Maybe a bit. I don't know whether it's just me reading wheat on the can, but there is sort of something at the back. It could be like almost like not like the sweetness you get of a wheat beer.
Yeah.
A bit of that just on the very end, but incredibly sweet. I'm going to say it's now. I'm going to feel this in my teeth.
Wheat, I think, is unusual in a stout, is it not?
Yeah, it's very odd.
Yeah.
We've got oats as well, so that I imagine that's going to be thickening it at 6.2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really weird. But obviously, if it works, it's all right, isn't it?
What are you getting on yours?
That's weird as well. I'll tell you what, for the first time on stream, maybe it's because I'm not doing so much talking. I've got the nose hasn't completely blocked up, because sometimes I'll have to step off and clear the old nasal passage. But there's a real roastiness to it. But kind of
coffee or malt?
No, kind of more smokiness almost.
All right, okay.
Kind of, I want to say roasted nuts. I don't know if that, but I don't remember getting that off the half I had last week. So it's really, sort of roasted malt, kind of slightly smoky kind of malt, kind of peanuts, roasted peanuts. Just on the aroma. Yeah, interesting. Let's have a go. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, very. Whoa, okay. It's balanced. It's very sweet at the front.
Yeah.
And then almost like a burnt coffee at the back.
Yeah.
Almost uncomfortably burnt coffee. Like when you put a pot of coffee on and it's gone a bit wrong. Develops into like a dark chocolate eventually. But that initial, not pleasant initial taste, it's odd. It's fair. I am always dubious poly stouts. Have seemed to have got. It's the area I think that they have not improved upon. I followed Polly's from the very start when they started canning. Their IPAs and pales and sours have massively improved. Massively. But the stouts, the ones that they've sort of fallen back on, which is a bit annoying because the head brewer was brewed for Mad Hatter, and Mad Hatter used to have absolutely amazing stouts. The double Nightmare on Bold Street was what made me fall in love with milk stouts.
I remember Mad Hatter. Wasn't that Dad? Or was he the owner? Or was he the head brewer?
Mad Gaz, yeah, he's the owner.
Okay.
He's co-owner. But Lally, who is Lally Morrison, who's the head brewer at Polly's, he was the last brewer at Mad.
Okay. Gaz is now at a brewery in Cheshire somewhere.
Different Gaz. There's two different
really?
Gazes there. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I thought he was Mad Hatter though.
No, two different Gazes.
Oh, okay. My bad.
The other, so Mad Hatter was co-owned, Mad Gaz and Paul, and Paul now owns Orbit.
Oh, okay.
Which is why Tzatziki Sour went with him, because that was a Paul recipe from Mad Hatter. So it went with him.
Yes.
And their porter as well. That was a Mad Hatter recipe initially, the Dead Wax Porter.
Yeah.
And that went with him.
Right. And the other Gaz being Team Toxic?
No, different Gaz. They're two different Gazes. Really? So the Gaz that works at Team Toxic, worked at Taunton until recently, is a different Gaz to Mad Gaz. They are two people called Gaz that are unrelated.
Right, but the Gaz at Team Toxic was Mad Hatter. No. Oh, really? Okay. I don't know why I thought that. Okay.
No. Mad Gaz did. Trying to think of the brewery company. He did a brew pub after, and that went wrong. What were they called? Had a very strange name. They didn't can. They only did. It was like a brew pub. Went a bit wrong, and then he went over the water to do something with another brewery, and that went wrong. I don't think he's in the industry anymore. Could be wrong.
Who am I thinking? Gaz Prescott.
Yeah, it's Team Toxic Gaz, not related to Mad Hatter.
Right. Okay. I don't know why I thought, because obviously Team Toxic is no more either. He's the one that's now. He was at Tatton for a while, and he was contract brewing various things. But he's at a Cheshire brewery now. But I like Team Toxic beers, even though they're a bit controversial. But that's why Team Toxic and Mad Hatter are very similar. So that's why I thought they were related.
Mad Hatter went before Team Toxic, I think, started. But
that's why I think I made the connection, because the artwork was very similar as well.
I think it's driving me mad what that brewery was called that he did afterwards. It was a brew pub in Liverpool. He brought some of the recipes back because they did a triple Nightmare on Bold Street. It was pretty good. I can't remember. Had a very silly name. But yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, he's not in the industry anymore.
Okay, so I don't know that guys at all, because I've obviously got confused somewhere down the line.
No. So yeah, no. But yeah. So Orbit, I always try and buy from Orbit, but they have very silly postage rules. Not rules, postage costs, and it puts me off every time. I
mean, back in sort of 2020, I did get some beer because of the Tzatziki Sour, and I'll always try that. I'll almost always see it at Ealing Beer Festival every year, so I'll always go for that because I really enjoy that. And that Dead Wax is pretty good. But again, only in 330 bottles, resisted cans for years, and
still.
But obviously doing great things and surviving, I think. So
I think the tap room's fairly successful. It's on my list of when I go to London to visit.
Yeah. Talking of Harry, good evening, sir.
He's been WhatsApping me, and I've just been ignoring him. So I think he's worked out what I've been ignoring him.
I never said publicly, but congratulations, Blue Nose, on the record number of points. I just saw that yesterday. Fair play. Swapping places with us, but we haven't mentioned football. Let's not mention football, eh?
Yeah, it's been all right for us this season.
Oh yeah, you've been grand. Cheers, Harry.
And our neighbours have now got a hilariously named stadium, so that's even better.
Oh, what have they called it? I thought it was something Doc, wasn't it?
Brandy Dundalk is the location, but they've now got a sponsor.
Oh, go on.
It is, I believe, they are some sort of investment solicitor group called the Hill Dickinson Group, and the stadium is now the Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Doesn't trip off the tongue well, does it?
Not if you really slow it down.
The Hill Dick in son. Yeah, it's not good, is it?
But I believe that the numbers that have come out is 100 million for sponsorship over 10 years.
Jeez.
So, I suppose if you're offering that kind of money.
Well, yeah. And yeah, and we've just lost our manager at Schalke.
Yeah, to be fair, that was a good offer for him, though.
Oh, for sure. It's not.
I'm
a bit more complacent. Like, it's football, it happens. Like, why are we worrying about it? We'll just get a team out next season. Fuck it.
Yeah, I hear Sam Allardyce is still free
for a reason.
He's enjoying his podcast a bit too much, I think.
100 million for 10 years. Well, Man City lawyers are one. Well, they need to be.
Yeah, that seems to be funny, isn't it? That they're going after Leicester for points, and the Man City thing seems to have gone away again.
Yeah, even though they've got 113 counts of like.
Yeah, I think they've knocked it down. I think some of them have been dismissed, but still.
Yeah. I tell you what, we're talking about sweetness of stouts. For a milk stout, this is not very sweet at all. It's got an outline sweetness, but no kind of milk, lactose kind of sweetness.
This is, I got a lot of sweetness, but also very much bitter. I'd say it's bitter, and I wouldn't say it's earthy. It's and almost an astringent addition on top of the sweetness.
Okay. Up to that point, when you said astringent, you was basically describing what I'm drinking. There's no astringency. It's like a. I didn't ask actually, Paul, the other day. I enjoyed the half I had in the tap room, but like I say, it was difficult. I couldn't really get the flavors after having the iron brew. But it feels like there's a lot of Sabro in this. It's got that kind of dry stout kind of note, rather than a milk stout. But again, I wonder, because I've put it on the back of a sort of grapefruit-ish heavy double IPA. So I did give some water in the mouth just to kind of refresh the palate. I don't dislike it. It's just quite kind of dry rather than a sweet milk stout that I was expecting.
So Polly's usually list the hops on the can, but they don't. It probably is on their website, but I can't look right now on my phone. But I'm wondering whether the astringency is from the hop.
I normally do look on the. Let's have a look.
It should be still available. I only got it recently, so.
I do like to look on websites and find information. So let's have a look.
Sorry, I wasn't angling for you to look.
No, it's fine. I don't mind. I love looking at stuff, so it's all right. And then here we are, beer.
It's apparently a part of the series as well. They're all something. They all start with something. So this one's something pure. I think something beautiful was another one.
Yeah, something pure. There's that one.
Yeah.
Fig and cherry imperial stout sounds interesting. They got a color with lost cause.
Chocolate macaroon. Oh yeah, The Lost Cause one was for their birth. That was part of their birthday series.
Yeah. I've liked Lost Cause, the couple of beers I've had from them, but didn't rush into that one. Don't see any other something ones, but there's something pure fudge stout. A stout at this time of year, where you've got loads on there, so that's not a thing. Something pure. Natural progression from a recent breakfast stout collaboration with Wrexham Bean Company.
Oh yeah, that was also on the shop there, wasn't
it? Letting the malt do the majority of the talking, we've brought no fewer than 7 specialty malts to the party here, imparting a whole host of decadent chocolate notes, with a heavy lashing of milk sugar to up the fudgy sweetness to the max. A treat for all the senses and a perfect dessert beer.
and not a spec. They usually put a spec thing on it, where they list what malts and what hops.
Yeah,
they have not done that.
Right, no, I haven't seen. There's no other information on that at all.
How weird.
Yeah.
I don't. They have redesigned their website recently, and I'm not a fan.
Right. Just gonna have a quick look at that fig and cherry one because that sounds interesting. Yeah, there's no different. There's no tab for that either. Fresh morello cherries and figs. Yeah, I like the look of that. I won't be rushing to buy it because I've got far too much beer going on, but that sounds good.
They always have cherries on a thing because one of their core range sours is the sour cherry.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Shark. I think my palate might be wrecked after the DIPA a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily affected this beer, but Slurpee! Hey, Dan, we were just mentioning you. We were talking about milds. So go back and look. A good shout out, please. I will be mentioning that Slurpee Day video again on, I think, Monday, if I do some mild on Monday, because I've got some mild now. Just got a notification that me Trembling Madness order is turning up tomorrow. I just don't know what time. I hope it's in the morning because I hate sitting there waiting for it to turn up. I've got shit to do tomorrow, but I'm usually pretty good.
Are you off tomorrow?
I am technically off tomorrow. There is a high chance I will actually go in because we got kind of food on Friday. We've started opening on a Friday night now, which has been good for the weather. We've got a few people turn up. So I tend to, I don't think I should be off. I think I should work tomorrow. But I tend to go in anyway because I'm not really going to go anywhere else for a drink round here. And the food is good, the beer is good, and we've got pub games. We've been playing a bunch of pub games on a Friday night.
I'm hoping to go to Tank Bar tomorrow, which the room is a bit closing. The owner seems to throw a bit of a fit, but they got called out. Well, I called them out a bit. Other people did as well for selling Beer 52 beers.
Ooh. At knockdown prices or markup?
I have no idea how you would quantify how much they are, but I think they were about £1.75 a can for 330s.
Well, seeing as your average Beer 52 beer is about $3.49 these days, I've obviously got some very good discount. I mean, I'm guessing it's not regular beers. It's kind of the like random Belgian and Italian stuff.
It was a random selection, and they were just saying, yeah. And I was like, has someone got some free boxes that they've decided then to chuck into retail circulation?
I don't mind if they're doing it at a good price and not massive markup. I mean, if they were selling it at £4, then it's a bit naughty, but fair play, a bit of entrepreneurship. If they've got, how many free boxes would they have to have, though?
I don't know.
It
wasn't
I
that
don't mind
many.
that so much.
It was about 20, 25, something like that. But it was just a bit. I was advertising it on their Facebook page as well, which I thought it's a bit.
Yeah, well, it depends. Well, it depends whether Beer 52 find out and are a bit upset by it. But Slappy. For breakfast, I've been having Viagra and fig and prune stout. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. You have to be careful. You don't find those Viagra eye drops. Just doesn't do anything. It just makes you look bad. Brought up on Holt's, Bodies and Lees, Threats and Hides, Milds. Yeah, I don't know enough about Milds, but every year I try and look into it and find some Milds. So
Threats mild sort of disappeared completely, hasn't it? Liverpool seemingly we're getting a lot fixed and mild on keg. It's very strange.
I tell you, I nearly bought yesterday. I was in Sainsbury's and I looked at it and I love the name. From Theakston's, Nout Peculiar.
Oh, is that the 0% or 0.5?
The 0% Old Peculiar, and I'm like, I want to try that just for the name, but I was in a bit of a rush because I was looking for bloody Milds, so I might go back down to Sainsbury's and pick that up. But I'm not holding out a lot of hope for it, but it might be right.
Yeah, I sent Harry the links the other day.
Yeah, I saw a couple of Harry's beers on Paul's. I've got to go back and check those videos out. So
yeah, they were donated by Harry, and then I just managed to fit them in the box. He's got another box I've got to send out to Paul. So I said it'll have to wait until I come back from Australia because I won't have time to sort it out now. Because that many he asked for, I was like, I can't fit them all in a box. The cost is going to be astronomical. I was like, probably better to split them. I'll do the bulk this month, and then a smaller one. So I'm hoping the size box I've got, I'm hoping it will go through as a small. But it'll still get 12 beers in there.
I've been looking at Harry's beers for like 5 years, and I should buy these. I definitely want to buy these, and because I've got far too much beer and far too much other beers, I will get around to them at some point. And at some point, I'm going to go and sit in his tap room. Just far too busy at the weekends at night.
I will be at his festival, hopefully pending an MOT of the car. A week on Friday. Car's getting MOT'd on Thursday because it's the only time I could fit it in before holiday because it runs out whilst I'm away.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Hopefully it's fine. I can just get in the car and go. We'll see.
I mean, I'll drive there, but I've got to have somebody drive me back.
Yeah, thankfully I'm staying over, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll stay over, yeah. Soapy Dave says 0% beer is the scourge of the beer world. Yes, it is and it isn't. I cannot believe, and I said this to my boss the other day, I said we definitely need a 0% beer on the bar because of where we are. There's a lot of people that drive because although we're in central London, we're in the middle of nowhere, and there's a lot of people with kids that drive and ask about a 0% beer. And I'm like, yes, we need one. I wouldn't drink it, but we need to do one.
But a lot of country pubs need to do them because you've got to get there somehow.
Yeah. I mean, we're not even we don't promote people driving to our bar. Just get the bloody train or whatever. But
I was going to say, you're in London. You're never too far from a bus stop or a train.
No, we're 10 minutes from 5 minutes from the train station. But there's still a lot of people who drive because they have kids and stuff, and dragging kids on the train, fair play, is a difficult thing. But Paul pulled out a lot of beers from that box, didn't he?
Yeah, I knew there was a limit in which I could fit in one go, and that was the limit.
What, the brewery?
Probably. He's very busy at the minute.
Yeah, yeah.
We did. I have a very funny story about getting it to the island. The Isle of Man airport, if you've never been, is hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Because we landed, and I had a check. I paid for a check bag, which was fine because on the way back we were getting the boat, so it didn't matter about your check bags. And it had an old school rotary. What's it called? Not an escalator. What is it called? Not a traveller.
The baggage carousel.
Yeah, carousel. Yeah. So my bag came out. Literally just came out with the flaps from the side. They turned it off because there was no other bags on everyone else was cabin bags. So literally, they moved the carousel enough to get my bag just outside of the flaps, and then turned it off immediately.
Let's go walk up and get it.
Yeah, it's fine. Wasn't far, and also as well, it's got the best parking of any airport ever because Slurpee picked us up and he literally parked outside the doors, and it's free.
It's a lovely place. It's and again another one I need to get to. Harry, well, if we have a conversation about that, it'd be great. Assisting the production of a low alcohol, had to relearn how to brew to do one. Yeah, I'll have a chat about that happily at some point. I can't believe I'm saying that. I want to do one, but it is useful for the bar. So yeah, that'd be great. Just come over and we'll work it out somehow. I don't have the business levity to say that, but if you just rock up, I'll speak to my boss and we'll do something.
Harry's one I actually sent to Paul because I said, Harry, can I buy a selection of beers from you? And he said, we'll sort something out, and then just turned up with them. And then refused to take any money for them. So
right. I remember seeing Paul's face on that one when he pulled out. He went, "Oh, it's 0%."
but that was the selection because that one at the time was the freshest one he'd done, and it was 0.8, which I've never seen. I said to him, that's a weird percentage. I've seen like 1.5 or a half, but never 0.8. It's a very strange percentage for beer.
So that's not actually because in 0.5 has to be like a no alcohol, doesn't it? So he's just gone over the threshold a little bit, but it would still be okay for drivers.
It's called low. Yeah, it's low pale ale.
Mr. B's on a delirium. Which
one? Else? Strong stuff of the world. They're all 8, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I've got 3 or 4 in the stash. I've got to do a whole delirium stream, I think. Yeah, is it strong enough to see Pink Elephant?
The Grand Reserve is like 11, isn't it?
I've got, I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. I've got Nocturnum. I've got a couple of others, I think.
I've got,
including one I got out of a Beer 52 box. I was surprised to see.
I've still got 750 of the 10 from Christmas, and I haven't dared open it because it's a 750 bottle of 10% beer. It's not one you do on your own, really, is it?
That would be that would be a sharing bottle, but you are also allowed to share them with yourself.
But it was also £12 at booths, and that's a good deal.
Well, booths,
yeah. That's why I went and bought it, because it was £12, reduced from 14.
As a soft southerner, I do lament not having booths down here. I think I'd be like a kid in a sweet shop wandering into a booths.
Formerly, the most southern booths, bringing it back round to Knutsford, was Knutsford Services, was the most southern one. There is now one on the edge of the Midlands, which I think is now the most southern one.
Well, when I eventually get back out and about and stuff, it's one to look out for.
So I think it's like some Stoke way or something. It's right on the edge of what qualifies as the Midlands.
Yeah. 0.8 still classed as low alcohol. Yeah, low alcohol. Yeah. So it would be the best AV. We'd still get some. Yeah, fair play. A new one is called 0.8. It's going into bottles this time and then cans. Any only bottles and cans, or
they haven't done cans for a long time, Ransbury. The last one they did was their milk stout was in cans, and then they've done it recently in bottles, but that was the last can I saw of Ransbury was the milk stout, and it was very, very good.
I didn't even realise there was cans, to be fair.
A long time ago, they stopped doing them, and they went back to the 500 mils and mini kegs.
Is that because they have to send them out, or do they do their own canning?
They have to send them out for bottling.
Yeah. Oh,
they
really?
Don't have a bottle. Yeah, it's all contract, canned and bottled.
Yeah.
And keg contract as well. The only stuff that they actually package is cask.
Okay.
And the gin.
Okay. Yeah, like I say, Creative Juices used to send their stuff out, and I think it got better when they did it themselves, to be fair.
I don't know if Harry wants me to say who the contractor is. I don't want to drop him in it.
No, it's fine. Is it been kegging house by this time next year? Yeah, fair play.
Yeah. He might say in the chat, but I wouldn't want to say it because I don't know whether it's conversation or not.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna drop anybody in it. Tried Wonderwall Premium Lager. Need a bit of a flavour after it. Oh, okay, right. I see. Wonderwall. Where's that from?
I was going to say, they're not one of those B&M jobs where they do a music. They've done a Queen Lager, and
okay.
I'm trying to think the other one. Another one. Motorhead. Did a Motorhead Lager.
Oh yeah. Didn't see any of them in my B&M.
They were in the Christmas section because they come with a glass and a steel box.
The other reason not to buy any beer in my B&M yesterday, the B&M I went to, that was way down the road. I drove there in the end because it felt like a fucking sauna in there. It was like far too hot to be storing beer in a warehouse.
Yeah.
So I was quite pleased not to buy any beer from there, but yeah. Yeah, no worries, mate. Overall, what do we think of the beer selection tonight, Adam? Are we pleased with tonight's beers?
Yeah, I definitely think number 2 has been the best one for me.
Uh-huh.
Although the Gusher was all right, I thought it was okay. This one, I can't make head and a tail whether I like it or not. I keep getting different sides of it, and not all the sides are pleasant. So it's an odd one. I'll finish it, but I don't think I'd buy it again.
Oh, I'll tell you what I didn't do. I didn't look at the details of this one. There's a lot of text on the back. Right, it's called No Time to Regret. I don't know if I said that. I know it's on the banner. It says stouts are an interesting creature, for sure. There's some amazing things being done with twists on the original style, but there is also a growing trend towards breweries taking time to nail the straight and simple traditional stout. I'm not convinced this is a traditional stout by any means.
Okay.
It's definitely an interesting one. Like I say, that kind of Sabro kind of dry stout. The style itself has its origins right here on our doorstep in London. They're not in London. They're in Hertfordshire, but it's kind of inside the M25, so they pretty much are like, sorry, Paul. But yeah, they kind of are in London-ish. And was arguably perfected by the Irish in Dublin. Nice little nod. It's totally different to a Dublin stout. With a direct affinity to both of these great cities, we're proud and privileged to present our take on this amazing style of beer. Sit back and take a deep, satisfying gulp. You'll get a very smooth mouthfeel. Yeah, that's fair. And a thick, creamy tan head. That's fair. Head has dissipated a little bit at the moment. With rich, roasty flavours of dark chocolate, black coffee, and subtle, sweet, malty notes. Get ready to experience a modern classic. Yeah, some of that is true, some of that is not, but it's not a bad beer by any means. It's just quite a dry stout. November 2025, by the way, for best before end fans of this channel. Yeah, it just feels like a kind of, I don't know whether that's come off the back of the double IPA. It's nice. It's not my favorite kind of stout. I do prefer the much sweeter ones. It doesn't feel like a milk stout because there's not much kind of milkiness, that kind of bitter edge, Sabro kind of thing takes over. It's very interesting. It's definitely a different take on it. It's not going to challenge your Guinnesses. It's very different to that kind of thing. So
yeah, this is a different animal to what I had before. But yeah, no, that sounds interesting. That I like Sabro stouts. I was disappointed when I did a Kernel order recently. I was disappointed not to get the tropical stout. It wasn't available when I did my order. Because that's a Sabro. That the last one was Sabro. I think it was one of the hops in it.
Yeah. I'm not sure it is Sabro, but I'm guessing Sabro. But I'm not getting a lot of milk stout, although there is a kind of outlay in sweetness. But I will persevere, and I will pop back up the tap room again soon for another pint of it, and make sure not to have anything too outlier before it. There's definitely a roastiness to it. I like that kind of slightly coffee, dark roastiness to it, but it's more of a dry stout, like dry Irish stout than a milk stout. But there is a bit of dark coffee there, a bit of kind of milky coffee around the back end. So yeah, interesting. Chat from Bedford. Is that Brewworks? No, Sunlit Mines. No. Well, we said we was going to do a quick stream, and we've been banging on for 2 hours now. We've done well.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed a different look at different beers. It's been all right.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us on. I do appreciate it.
No, pretty much any time really. I'll hang on about beers because I always think it's all about the beers. It's not about you or me or like what we think about shit. It's all about the beers and what we think about the beers, really. So it's been a good look.
Ironically, that I think the best beer tonight was the Irish Stout, and that was one I nearly didn't include. I nearly had the Polly's as a middle one and an Impey as the finisher. I'm glad that I included this one instead. I think it's been the better one of the three.
Because you mention it, I don't know, this is a bit controversial. For me, best is difficult because 3 different things. For me, this was the easy drinking kind of good start. It had that nice fruity note, and it was nice. That was the most balanced one, I think. That was challenging and quite a good double IPA. This is quite a good stout, and I enjoy it. And I mostly enjoy the brewery and the story and where they are and stuff like that. So, because they're kind of similar to my brewery, they're on a farm in the middle of nowhere. You sort of have to drive to get there, or a bus every half hour or whatever. But I like going up there and just sitting in the sun, listening to the birds and watching the animals and stuff. But yeah, I'm surprised myself to think that Northern Monk is possibly the beer of the night. It was certainly their most easiest drinking from the off, so I don't know.
I'm trying to get them all in shot, and it's not working.
Yeah, no, that's it. You've got it. You've nailed it. Just move your head to the right slightly. You've got a halo. You look perfect. That's brilliant. That would be the thumbnail if I only ever got around to doing an actual thumbnail rather than the one I hastily cobbled together. This hat's all over the place. Hat feels more pissed than I am. Yeah. So 2 hours of beer drinking, and we're pretty much done, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's call it a day. I'm gonna not let absolutely no lacing on that one, but some good alcohol legs. To be fair, I've gone up and then gone down again, but I'm going to take the last mouthful of this. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I don't know what's happening over the weekend. I may or may not do some content tomorrow. If not, hopefully back on Monday. And yeah, Adam, have a great weekend.
You too.
Afterwards. As I always say, cheers and enjoy the beers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
See you later.
I'm going to end it there. Bear with me. As you know, I have an outro. Cue the outro.